How much money do you think you need to retire? Or rather, how much money do you think will buy your happiness? Daniel Kahneman did a study in 2010. This was titled, High Income Improves Evaluation of Life, but Not Emotional Well-Being. The researchers identified a threshold of approximately $75,000 a year, beyond which additional income did not significantly increase life satisfaction. Adjusted for inflation today, that would be about $100,000. Now keep in mind that $100,000 will vary country to country, state to state, province to province. But what it means is it's not millions and millions that you need. Overall, the study found that money can increase life satisfaction, but only up to a certain point. After that point, it wasn't linear. And there's a lot of factors for this. Now, they didn't go into this in the study, but I have a few theories behind it. Like, let's say, for example, my car breaks down. Just something minor, but I still have to get it fixed. I'm not good at fixing cars. Yes, it's going to be a financial burden, but I have to make an appointment, go to the mechanic, get a lift home from the mechanic, wait for it to be fixed. And I'll just use the car as a simple example. Maybe it could be a scratch on my snowboard. I still need to get that fixed. Minor little things, but with more money you have more belongings. You might have a boat, you might have multiple cars, you might have a big house, you might have a pool. You need to get the pool cleaned, the hot tub maintained, the kids mind it. You might be working lots because you want lots of money to support these kids, but then you need babysitters and daycare. What I find is the more belongings you have and the more money you have, the more stress involves with maintaining the money, the things. You know, there was this expression like keeping up with the Joneses, but people buying shit they don't need to impress people they don't really like. Do you really need all that stuff? Or do you just want your happiness? What brings you the most happiness? For a lot of people, the most happiness can be the family holidays, the birthdays, just the get-togethers, hanging out with people, just going for a walk in the park, going up a mountain, going to the lake, going for a swim. Do you require money for any of this? Probably not. Everyone's happiness is going to be different with different things. Yes, for some people it will be bringing the boat out on the ocean or the lake. But to what cost? Do you want to work all your life to bring this boat out 10 times a year? Or would you rather work less and just rent a boat? The study used 450,000 participants. It found a positive correlation between income and life evaluation, meaning that individuals with higher incomes tended to report overall life satisfaction with their lives. However, this relationship was not linear, and the impact of income on life evaluation diminished at higher income levels. In contrast to life evaluation, the study found that higher income did not necessarily lead to improved emotional well-being. While individuals with higher incomes might experience less day-to-day stress related to financial experiences, their overall concerns with happiness, joy, sadness did not increase. Now, while this study used the threshold of $75,000, everyone's going to have a different number that will make them happy. And it's not just about happiness. Of course, you need money to survive. But my point is, when you're looking to retire, and do you really want to waste all those years of your health to retire at 65 just to have extra money to buy shit you don't want? What about like your 30s, your 40s? What about taking a few years break in the middle? What about spending that time with your kids? You don't have to retire fully. You could cut back. You could go to 20 hours a week. You could work casually, part-time. And for most people, like, oh, I can't do this. I need the money for this and that and this and that. But really, do you? I'll go into it in more videos about buying certain things, how to find certain deals, how to travel for cheaper, and how to invest your money and make money. So I've talked a bit about the 4% rule in other videos, meaning 4% of your portfolio to withdraw to make yourself fully retired. So let's say if $75,000 is your number, what's that 4% of? Well, the easy way to get that is multiply by 25. So that's 1.875 million. That might seem unattainable. Now, what if that's between a couple? That's only 900,000 each. Again, I say only, or you might be thinking only, that's impossible. It is not impossible. It's very attainable in most jobs, even just up to 10 years with the power of compound growth. But it's very possible to do this in a lot of Western countries and to make it tax friendly. Just people don't realize it. People can't compute compound growth in their minds. But we learned that some of that stuff in I think I was maybe 6 years old when I learned it in school. I remember dreaming about oh yeah, I'll put a pound, the Irish pounds back at the time, into the post office and I'll forget about it and in a year's time it'll be $1 million. Now obviously that's unrealistic, but the compound growth I've experienced over the last 10 years made it realistic to quit full-time work. What makes me happy, do you think? You know, I don't like going out for fancy dinners, some people do. Some people like buying those expensive things. What makes me happy is going for walks, going for hikes, hanging out with friends and family. I love to travel. People think travel is expensive, but I travel all over the world. I get flights everywhere. I go for swims in lakes, I go paddleboarding, I go snowboarding. People think skiing's expensive, but all these things I figured out how to do budget and to have fun. I go drinking way too much. You know, that's probably like my expensive meal. I go out, I socialize. Actually, I've cut back on that a lot lately, but which I'm quite happy with. But even still, I still go out. I've had a few non-alcoholic beers. But all these things that make you happy, it's not the drinking that makes me happy, it's more the people around me. Like for me today before work, yes, I'm still working part-time, but for me today, I just came out for a beautiful walk on this lake. Check this view out. Absolutely spectacular. So figure out what makes you happy. Is it the things you buy? Look at your Amazon account. We'll just use Amazon, for example. How much money have you spent on Amazon over the last year, for example? And how many of those items do you actually use, or how many are put away, they're in a cupboard? How many of your clothes do you use? Here's a good test, right? So you take your wardrobe, push everything to the left-hand side, and over, let's say, 1 or 2 months, if you live in a country with proper seasons, maybe do it 1 or 2 months each season. But everything you wear, put to the right hand side. And at the end of those 1 or 2 months, what's left on the left? If there's a bunch of stuff you don't use, you're like, well, why did I spend money on that? Why did I buy it? Did I ever use it? Can I sell it or can I get rid of it? Do these clothes make you happy? Do you need to still own these belongings? And you can do this for multiple things. Boxes, storage in the garage. A lot of things you can get rid of that you don't need and make some money. Invest it, become a multimillionaire and retire. Yeah, so to just summarize, everyone's number is going to be different. $75,000, yes, that was the number in the study of 450,000 participants, but keep in mind this was probably an average, and everyone's going to have different taxes, different ways to work it out. But find what your number is. I'll go into another video in the future telling you how to figure out your number, how to figure out what you spend and how to figure out what you need to invest. Okay, subscribe, please. I'm only going to make these videos I'm only kind of interested in making these videos if I get enough subscribers. A lot of friends are asking me, but I don't have time to go around and teach everybody individually. And I like to talk about it a lot. You know, you definitely feel free to talk to me if you see me out and about. But yeah, it's fun making the videos sometimes, but a bit of work sometimes. So we'll see how we go.